Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather in the U.S. and Canada. So let's see some severe storm stuff first, and then we'll check some other forecasts. So first we have in the U.S. this marginal risk today across parts of northern high plains, especially North Dakota, Nebraska, South Dakota, parts of Wyoming, Colorado. So tornado threat less than 2%, but 5% wind threat and a wider hail threat. So let's see more storms in the south across the west, many areas of possible thunderstorms too. The thunderstorms can produce isolated severe gusts and hail may occur today and tonight across parts of the northern central plains. So be aware there, be careful. And today in Canada, we have an area of a severe possible parts of Ontario, northwestern Ontario, and some general storms in parts of Manitoba and other parts of Ontario. So some heavy rain possible, some large hail, strong gusts, and even a tornado or two possible. So be aware in those areas there. As you can see here, the moderate to severe storms. So let's see the HER for all those areas. So first we have all those storms in the south there, near the Gulf and approaching the Carolinas with that system. And then let's see, in the plains we have those stronger storms in South Dakota today, Nebraska, and maybe into North Dakota later this evening. But it shows like 9Z Mondays actually tomorrow morning. But anyways, it shows some more storms in North Dakota tomorrow morning as well, and northeastern Colorado to Nebraska, some stronger storms. And then there in Ontario, it shows like those a few storms for northwestern Ontario. Doesn't seem like much, but those storms might have some large hail and even a potential for a supercell or two there. So be aware. And then shows some more showers and storms in the southwest, in Arizona, in more rain, Tennessee and Arkansas, and those areas there. And let's see here, like another one, like from earlier today in the north there. So shows like in the plains it shows like later, but in Nebraska and Colorado you start like this evening, but North Dakota and those areas it shows like later. But let's see if this one has anything different for Ontario. It shows, yes, only a very low amount of storms, but some might be strong there, so be careful. And there's also this other side here. Let's see, Central Canada Bear. So this is the European model. It shows those stronger storms in Ontario there. Today some severe storms, so be aware there. It shows into Monday, tomorrow, moving into Quebec there, so be aware. There's also a different view of the HER here. So let's see, shows all those storms across the west, even more rain in Oregon, Northern California, the storms in the southwest there, New Mexico, the heavy rain in the south, and here you can see the storms a little bit better in Ontario. They're like for northwest and Ontario, those stronger storms there, so be aware. And now for the next few days in the US, we have a marginal risk in the Carolinas tomorrow, a marginal risk in the northern plains, and another marginal risk in the southwest. So tornado threat 2% in the northern plains, 2% in the southeast, the Carolinas. So be aware. Wind 5% in the southwest and the plains, and hail in the southwest and the plains as well. So let's see, on Monday, sporadic severe gusts and hail possible during the afternoon, early evening, parts of the eastern Great Basin and to Four Corners. Isolated severe storms possible over the eastern North Dakota into northwest Minnesota. Some tornado threat may develop in eastern North Carolina and vicinity because of the system approaching there. So be aware tomorrow there. And later there's a big margin on day 3, all the way from New Mexico to Montana. So let's see, 5% probabilistic, still some storms in the southeast. So isolated severe storms possible across a large swath to the High Plains region, mainly from Tuesday late afternoon into the evening. Severe gusts will primary hazard, so be aware there. And let's see if we have anything else for the other areas of Canada in terms of storms. So Quebec's kind of quiet, Atlantic Canada as well. Let's see, British Columbia is kind of quiet, but in the model here, the HER also only shows some showers there in southern Alberta, but in eastern Canada it's quiet, except for the storms in Ontario. We'll check the further outlook closer to the end of the video. So let's see now some precipitation for the US. So this is for Monday. For September 16th, it shows a lot there in the Carolinas, close to 5 inches or more because of that system coming there. So might be some flooding there, be careful. Shows like in southern Alabama, Florida, some more rain, especially in Arkansas, might be heavier in parts of the west, in Nevada, in parts of the Four Corners. Be aware, tomorrow, like day 3 for Tuesday, shows more North Carolina, Virginia from that system there, so be careful. Across Florida too, and across the west, the system building there, in the northwest too. Day 4 for next Wednesday, a lot in Montana there into Canada, so be aware in Montana, that low pressure will be curving there north and going to Canada, bringing a lot of storms there, and shows more on the east coast and on the plains. Day 5 for next Thursday shows a lot still near the east coast, but nothing crazy, more Montana too, and some on the west and Florida. Day 6 for next Friday, more in the plains, especially the Midwest, parts of the plains, some more on the east coast. Day 7 next Saturday shows more there in the plains, so a bigger front there potentially, and some on the east coast too. And day 8 next Sunday shows more across the central US and the plains there, so be aware. Day 1 through 7, the total accumulation shows like close to 7 to 10 inches near the Carolinas there from that system, a lot in southern Florida too, and Alabama. Shows a lot throughout the plains from those big systems that will be crossing, possibly some severe weather by the end of this time period with that cold front. Shows a lot in Montana, in parts of the west too from this, so be aware. Snowfall shows a tiny probability in Northern California there. Tomorrow, possibly in Nevada and parts of the Sierra Nevada. Day 3 doesn't show anything crazy, but the day 4 shows more probabilities across California, parts of Wyoming. Day 5 for Thursday shows more in California, parts of Utah, some slight snow probabilities. Still in Colorado by next Friday, and Saturday still some slight probabilities there, so be aware. Excessive rainfall is a marginal in the Carolinas there, and a slight still in Alabama, Mississippi, and northern Florida, and a marginal from Missouri to Florida, a marginal in southern Texas from a surge of moisture in Mexico, and a marginal in parts of the southwest, so be aware there, especially in the southeast there in the Gulf. For tomorrow, slight there in North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, potentially might be a lot of flash flooding from that system there, be careful. Still marginal in the Gulf, marginal from the storms in the north, and a marginal from California, Utah, Nevada, parts of Idaho, Montana, and Oregon, even to Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming, so be aware. This for Monday. For Tuesday, shows in Florida there, still on the east coast because of that system there, and more a marginal risk in Idaho, Montana. Day 4 next Wednesday, another marginal risk in Montana from that system and on the east coast. Day 5 still marginal on the east coast there, so be aware. So now the hazards outlook, we still have some frost in Nevada possible, all the way starting on the 17th, and some heavy rain there in the north, and the heavy rain there on the east, so be aware, especially on the morning of the 17th there in Nevada. And the maximum temperatures shows like still some 90s in the southern plains, 100s in parts of the southwest, and some 90s on the southeast there. This was 2 days. So Monday, tomorrow, shows some 90s in Arizona. Some 80s throughout the Midwest and 90s on the south and on the southeast. Let's see. The minimum temperatures for Monday, tomorrow, shows very low there, especially in the mountains of California, in Nevada. So let's see here. The southwest there, so shows some 20s and 30s there in the mountains, 33 Fahrenheit, 40 in Nevada, especially in the early morning, so be aware there. And this is Monday. Now the minimum temperatures from Tuesday to Wednesday shows still some 30s there, 40s in parts of Nevada. So this actually, I think, Wednesday to Thursday. So the coldest days, like day 2 minimum temperatures Monday night to Tuesday in Nevada, might be some frost, and in the mountains of California there, so be aware. Now let's see, day 3 Wednesday still shows colder in Colorado there, the Rockies, and still the mountains of California. Let's see here, closer look at the Rockies. We can see like 35, maybe some high 20s Fahrenheit there, so be aware. And the day 3 maximum temperatures, actually day 2 we didn't see, for Monday shows, day 2 we saw, still shows some 90s there in the southern plains. Day 3 for Tuesday, more some 80s and 90s on the southwest, some 80s further north there, some 90s in the southeast, and colder across a big portion of the west there. And let's see, day 4 maximum temperatures for Wednesday still shows like some 90s on the south, some 80s, and many areas. And minimum temperatures from Wednesday to Thursday, especially like in the northwestern U.S., shows like some 30s there, some high 20s Fahrenheit, and 36. So especially in the mountains, it will be very chilly there, so be aware. And now day 5 maximum temperatures next Thursday shows like 90 still in the south there, in the southeast, some 80s in parts of California, some 90s, and still colder across the west. Now day 6 minimum temperatures shows like some 90s on the south there, and still a little bit colder in the northwest. Now day 7 shows like some 90s on the southwest, some 90s in the south, so be aware. Now the 24-hour max wind gusts shows very windy across the west there, especially California, Nevada, and Utah, close to 40, 50 miles per hour gusts occasionally, and those yellows are almost to 60, so be aware. And in Arizona too, and near the southeast coast there because of the system, so be careful with the wind too. We have some wind advisories there, winter weather advisories in the mountains, and some even air quality advisories because of all the wildfires in Southern California, coastal flood advisories in Hawaii, some small craft advisories, heat advisories Southern Florida, and some like flood watches across the southeast, and high surf advisory in South Carolina. But this changes all the time, so we'll see. Wind gusts by the European shows higher today, Monday, especially in California. So today, Sunday to Monday shows higher, and then but the real deal is like starting Monday night into Tuesday. So this like Monday night, Monday afternoon to Monday night shows like some very high winds there, close to like 50 miles per hour gusts, so occasionally 56 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour in Arizona, Utah, Nevada will be very bad. Let's see, through the plains a little bit gusty as well, and near California there. Then this diminishes a little bit, like Tuesday morning a little bit better, but Tuesday afternoon it kicks up once again. This is Tuesday evening. Tuesday the 17th, Tuesday evening, shows like in Colorado, more than 52 miles per hour gusts, across Kansas, 50 miles per hour gusts. So this will be some very strong winds, northern New Mexico, central New Mexico as well, and Wyoming, 49 mile per hour gusts. So please be aware there. These winds might be problematic. And then let's see. Then this keeps going there into Wednesday in the plains, Wyoming there, especially in Wyoming. Then already Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, these big systems will be spinning there. Some very high winds across Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. So, and then it keeps going there. Some very high winds continue in Montana until Thursday, and then it kind of dissipates and drifts into Canada there. So please be aware. But this is just one model and one run. This scenario might change many times, but the GFS is also showing tomorrow, Monday afternoon, some very high winds in Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. And then it takes those winds east by like Tuesday. Some very high winds in the plains on Tuesday and back on the west, especially Tuesday afternoon and evening. So be aware. Then it also forms this big system there, but it's not as aggressive with the winds as the European. But Thursday, early on Thursday, it does show some very strong winds, especially Wednesday night in Montana there. So be aware. So let's see here. The snow accumulation next 5 days from the GFS has more in the mountains of California, central western Nevada, southern Montana, northern Wyoming, and Utah. There are even some spots in Colorado and Idaho, so be aware. And the European has also a lot in southern Montana, Wyoming, so some more areas there. Colorado, especially in central Nevada, might have some snow in California, so be aware in those areas. And up north in Alaska shows a lot too, in the mountains in northern Alaska as well, so be aware. Now in Canada again, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in Ontario for those storms there. Still some air quality advisories across portions of the west. Let's see, some frost advisories in Newfoundland there. Let's see if this loads better. So here, let's see. Let's just see here in the meantime. So in Nunavut, it shows like in Cole Harbor a rainfall warning, and in Newfoundland there the frost advisory. So we can see here frost may damage some crops in frost-prone areas. Minimal temperatures of 1 degrees in some areas there early Monday morning, so be aware there. And now the further outlook, there's those storms in Ontario there today into Quebec. Then later we'll have that system starting to move from the US. There are some storms on Tuesday showing across southern Manitoba and Ontario, especially Saskatchewan. And then this is Wednesday, already many storms there. That big low pressure system moves north from Montana to Saskatchewan, shows a lot of heavy rain throughout parts of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, especially southern Saskatchewan there, and some more areas. And then this keeps going maybe towards southern Nunavut, and the low pressure brings more rain on Thursday and Friday to westernmost Ontario and Manitoba especially. Then it goes out there. Might have some small systems later next weekend. But the Europeans also bring a gigantic system north there from the US into like southern Canada by Saturday the 21st into Sunday. So showing a big system there moving north on Sunday. So this 1 week out, but better keep watching. Let's see here. The GFS has also by Wednesday, it has some more storms on Tuesday evening, and on Wednesday they're starting in Saskatchewan. Then it has the big system there in Alberta, so Alberta and Saskatchewan might be very, very badly heavy in southern Alberta there, and Saskatchewan. Then this moves north into Nunavut and many areas there. So, and then it even picking up snow there near Northwestern Territories later by Friday the 20th. And it also brings like that low pressure north from the US a little bit earlier by Saturday there. and it's bringing more snow behind it. So we'll keep watching this too. Let's see. Western Canada, we still have that system there in Yukon and British Columbia with more snow in the mountains and rain. We have another system by Tuesday, some rain in British Columbia there. And then Wednesday, you can see the big system in Alberta and Saskatchewan there. And then some more scattered snow in the mountains up north later. And next Friday, the 20th, we might have a big system on the coast again with more snow and rain. And probably next Sunday, the 22nd, and Monday, we have to watch as well. It's showing like next Wednesday, the 25th, a lot of scattered snow and rain in spots there, the GFS. So we'll keep monitoring this too. And now for all the areas, we can see better. So you can see those storms moving from Ontario to Quebec tomorrow. So more storms in Quebec Monday the 16th tomorrow. And then even to Tuesday, some more storms in Quebec. And then let's see, even to Atlantic Canada, those storms might arrive. Then on Wednesday, you see the big low pressure going north there, around Montana, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Then that scattered snow there in Alaska, parts of Yukon, with those systems like next Thursday and Friday. Then that system goes north like Thursday and brings more snow to northern Nunavut in the Arctic there. And then next Saturday, a big system in Nunavut, it's showing there from Manitoba to Nunavut, goes north there, and brings a lot of snow too. But it's just a far out forecast, we don't know yet. Then back down south, it shows like next Saturday, the 21st, a big low pressure in the plains, probably some severe weather in Nebraska and Iowa, parts of Kansas, Missouri. We have to watch for that, and it continues until Sunday, the 22nd. Shows a lot of rain and severe weather there in the plains. Goes north, kind of into the east as well. So we'll have to watch for all of that. But be aware, and let's see, the temperatures are still warm, mild in Ontario and Western Quebec and southern Manitoba, but it gets very, very cold during the night in the west there, especially in the mountains, and in parts of Atlantic Canada through the frost. And then shows like, for example, Tuesday during the day, showing very warm in southern Canada, throughout Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, even Quebec and New Brunswick. So good. And let's see, and very cold at night in Yukon, Northwestern Territory. So be aware, some very cold spells there in Alaska too, and frost and everything. So be aware. And this is Wednesday the 18th. The Europeans are also picking up, like in Colorado, there's some very low temperatures. This would be equivalent to like some 27 Fahrenheit or something. So be aware. And this is mainly it. Let's maybe see something there for that tropical disturbance that might affect there. So the GFS still has it going all the way to a tropical storm strength into South Carolina, North Carolina there. So this will be worse there in terms of impacts. But the European has like a little more disorganized, but it might get itself together, but not really. Keeps it disorganized and goes north there to the Carolinas. And the icon has like, let's see, goes there maybe a depression or storm, but kind of disorganized, and goes there into the U.S. Let's see the hurricane models, because this is already an invest. The HRF takes this down to like 997, possibly tropical storm strength, and then goes into southern North Carolina there. And let's see, the HEFS A has it going there, potentially into tropical storm, but it's very disorganized. The low pressure center like there, but all the southern side is free of moisture, so it might be designated or not. But it does show like some tropical storm strength going to South Carolina there, North Carolina. So be aware, there'll be a lot of heavy rain from this, flooding, and potentially some tornadoes with those rain bands and gusty winds. So be aware. And in terms of gusty winds, we can see here, for example, as this goes there, potentially right on the coast, some very gusty winds, South Carolina too, and then it keeps going there, maybe in the mid-Atlantic, some gusty winds by Tuesday. So we'll keep watching this and be aware, because tomorrow is Monday, the impacts will be already felt tomorrow there. And it's still 50%, so still a 50-50 shot there. Because of the disorganization, everything might be subtropical instead of tropical. So be aware there. And we still have tropical storm Gordon there. It will weaken to a depression probably, and then maybe strengthen again into a tropical storm there. And let's see here, because we still have some signs that something might try to form near the Caribbean later next week. The European has a little bit more support there near Cuba and Florida, the Bahamas, for something coming out of the Caribbean, something weak, probably very weak, but it does have more support now. Maybe the Eastern Pacific because of the Central American gyre spinning there, and then shows near Africa some support as well. And the GFS ensembles have like a little bit of support near Africa, but not much, and it has a lot of support there near Cuba, potential for a stronger tropical storm or low-end hurricane, but that's still too far out to tell, and the GFS exaggerates many times. So, but it does have a lot of support for something forming there, and the Carolinas too, some low pressure systems there, and on the Eastern Pacific, depending on where this gyre forms. So if you are like in those areas, just keep an eye on the forecast, but nothing to stress about yet. This is still far out. And let's see if any operational models show something, maybe here on the Western Atlantic. So the GFS shows the system there, and then it takes some time there, but eventually gets one surge of moisture towards Jamaica, maybe something by the 22nd, goes towards Cuba and the Bahamas there, and tries to go out into the Atlantic. So this is the latest run from the GFS. The 0Z today had, let's see, it had more moisture building the south there, and maybe forming up something between Jamaica and Cuba, maybe a storm going through Cuba and the Bahamas, something weak. So this is the GFS. Nothing crazy, but better watch. The European still shows moisture there, but it does show like some moisture building, but that doesn't have anything developing. But this by the 23rd, it shows more moisture building there, potential low pressure forming. So this is the time frame we should watch, around the 23rd there. So the European starting to want to pick up something there. The Canadian already has a full-fledged tropical storm going towards Cuba by the 23rd of September, and the Icon has more disorganized blob of showers there. So we'll keep watching this, but be aware. So we'll probably have a tropical update in more detail tomorrow, explaining more dynamics, more models and everything. But just to give you a recap on the rain, today shows like some more rain in Cuba there. Bahamas with those storms, especially some storms in Cuba in the next 5 days. Panama and Costa Rica might get busy, a lot of storms, maybe some more in Nicaragua, but especially Guatemala and Mexico shows some areas of heavier storms, southern Mexico too. Western Mexico is kind of quiet, just some showers there, a storm or two, but eastern Mexico might have more showers and storms there, in the Yucatan as well. Some occasional storms in Jamaica and Hispaniola, and on the Caribbean some passing showers and storms, so be aware there sometimes, in like 19, 17 millimeters, so be aware. And this mainly it. Let's see, the model shows a lot of storms in Central America in the afternoon, in Cuba and the Bahamas, maybe in Hispaniola, and the showers and storms passing by the Windward Islands. Shows a lot near Cuba and the Bahamas throughout this week, especially near Mexico, Guatemala, so more storms in Panama, sometimes in Costa Rica, so be aware there.